Okay, I hope I can do as good as I did this morning. I came prepared this time with water. All right. First off, I'd like to recognize my wife, her daughter Marley, and my other daughter, Jocelyn. All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Frank Guyton. I'm here to tell you the story of how Jesus once again saved my life. All right. You see, I had hit a low point in my life. My first wife and I had separated, and I lost everything, or so I thought. My boss asked me if I wanted to go to good old Enid America. It was just a little temporary job we had around here, hauling crude oil. And due to my circumstances, I jumped at the chance to escape the little, bad situation I was in. I was like, yes, let's go. I came to Enid America here, and I started doing what most broken-hearted men my age do. I started going to bars, drinking, trying to meet women. I happened to meet this amazing girl named Brandy. We got really close and fell in love during my time in Enid. But like I said, the job here was temporary, so it ended, and I had decided it was best for my children, which I had two children in Texas, Ori Guyton and Sydney Guyton. It was best if I go back there and try to work it out with my wife and make our marriage work, despite everything that had happened. Brandy and I still remain friends and talked every few months after I moved back to Texas. After 3 years of trying to make things work with me and my ex-wife, it was apparent to both of us that it could never be the same because of what happened, between us two. My boss that I keep talking about, he stayed in contact with my family and stuff, and he had found out that me and my ex-wife had separated for good. And he called me up and he was like, I got a permanent job for you in Enid. And would you like to take it? And I was like, yes, let me get away. Let me get away from this area here, because I was in a very, very depressed state. I had to get away. It was not good. I would permanently like to relocate to the wonderful Enid. All I could think was getting back to that crazy, beautiful, crazy girl I had met all those years before. And I was back here in a blink of an eye. I met back up with Brandy not long after I got here, and I have this signature move I use. Hey, can I sleep on your couch? I'll help pay bills, whatever. And I started staying at her place. I had tried over and over to strike up that old flame that we had, that I don't know what it is. We were new, we were going to bars, and we had a great time together. I was trying to strike that back up. But me going back to Texas, it kind of broke her heart the first time I went back to Texas and left her here, and so she was not having it, not one bit. And so she introduced me to her friend Sarah, and I fell for her immediately. We got engaged and had a beautiful baby, Isaac Guyton, and things kind of went downhill when she got pregnant. Right before my son was born, I had met some people that brought out the really not so good in me, side of me. I started doing meth, and Sarah knew pretty much right off. The mood swings, the loss of weight. I kept telling her, no, it's work. I'm stressing out, and it just got worse and worse. I'm pretty sure everyone around me knew. So she left me. She took my son and left. I was devastated once again. Most people would think, oh, that happened to you, you would just stop. Hey, that's not a good thing. Just stop. But in my case, it did the opposite. I went further and further down into depression, further and further. I got worse and worse on methamphetamines, and to escape from my reality of, hey, I'm messing up really bad. Nope, I went ahead and got deeper into it. Well, along the road, I tried to back off the meth a little bit and continue into my work. And eventually, Brandy had moved in with me, and we started dating again. She was unaware that I was doing and selling drugs at that time. At that time, I started selling drugs as well. It was really bad, and I was still working full time. She was none the wiser, because I was working. I already had lost all the weight, so I still was really, really skinny. And let me paint you a picture. When it was all said and done, I was 134 pounds. 134 pounds. I could take my shirt off and you could see my ribs. It was really, really bad. Since Brandy and Sarah had been friends since grade school, Sarah started letting me keep my son again. Life seemed good. Pretty soon, Brandy caught on to everything. The extra money coming in when it wasn't payday, the random people showing up at my house, they looked really bad as well, the more weight I lost. And whenever I was on drugs, I had these constant mood swings. I'd be happy one moment and the next is really bad. So, and Sarah did too. Sarah did as well. And of course, I lost my son once again. I went to jail for the first time 2 days before Thanksgiving, 2017. Brandy bonded me out less than a week later. I promised her that I would stay clean, and I did not make good on that promise. I got out of jail. I was still doing the same old thing. I could, in my mind, I could never get caught. Nobody can see me losing all this weight. Nobody could see the mood swings. I was good to go. And so, of course, Brandy moved out a few weeks later. I was obviously devastated. I couldn't let her know this. We remained friends throughout my time of let's say, acting out. To me, acting out, time of darkness, it was a time of darkness for me. I was in and out of jail over the next couple of years. Selling and doing drugs just seemed to get worse and worse. I lost all of my belongings to so-called friends, and what my so-called friends didn't take from my house, Enid PD, of course, busted down my door and took the rest of it. It was pretty bad. It was really bad. I found myself homeless many, many times, searching for food and shelter. Let me paint another picture for you. Some nights I wouldn't have a place to stay, so I would just walk the streets until the sun came up. And when the sun came up, I was out there looking for the next place to stay. Where am I going to get my next food? I called Brandy up. One time, it was a day and a half I hadn't had food. I called Brandy up, and even though she was against everything that I was doing, she brought me one time, it was a box of pizza, and I was like, I'll take it. I'll take it. While in jail, I was able to attend church services, the Guytons. Bob Greenhall, he held the services there, and that was my highlight of the week. Yes, I'm going to church. And not everybody's allowed to go to church. They'll bring you out during your rec time, and they're like, okay, how many people want to go to church? Only a certain amount of people can go. And of course, I was always the first one. I'm there. And so I would go see Bob Greenhall, and whatever sermon he had for the day is what I brought back to the people in our cells. So and I would have what we call prayer call. It'd be the last 5 minutes of rec. I would hold the prayer call, and we would go over that sermon. We'd say a prayer in English and in Spanish, and that was a highlight of everybody's day. I mean, everybody would get involved. Little getaway from being in jail. I didn't think I was ever going to get out. Let's see. This made a huge impact in my life. Outside of jail, I found out that I had a baby girl, Jocelyn Jean. The last time I went to jail, I met a lady, and she became pregnant, and she was doing drugs as well. So we actually lost our baby girl to the system, and I had found out that I had a baby girl, Justin Jean, and I decided I was going to get clean. I was just sitting there, and I thinking to myself, this is not what I want. This is not where I want to be. I'm homeless. I'm walking the streets. So I had to do something about it. You know, I'll be honest with you, I was almost about to die. My body was not able to take it anymore. So August of 2019, I left town for a couple of weeks, and I came back sober. Once back, I started attending the welcome table. I needed food. You know, the rehab that I went to, once you're done with it, they brought me back here. They gave me a cell phone, and they were like, "Good luck," you know. So I was like, I need to do something, and so I was going to the Daily Bread, and there's people there, and they were like, you can go to this place behind McDonald's, and they got silverware and plates, you know, just like a restaurant. I thought they were kidding. I was like, yeah, you're joking me. And but nonetheless, I tried to come here. I lived at 5th and Maple at the time. I was living on a couch, and I walked from 5th and Maple all the way here. And sure enough, I walked right inside, and they set me down, and they asked me what I wanted to eat off the TV screen. It was really, really nice. It actually changed my life. I started eating at the welcome table, and once again, I got invited to church. And I came inside, and there was Bob. He's like, "Oh, you finally decided to come?" "Oh, yes, I did." And then forth, I tried not to miss a single Sunday. I used to sit right back there in the back by myself. Once back, I started attending church here at Central Christian, and eating at the welcome table. I was staying at several friends' houses. As a matter of fact, I call it couch surfing, from one couch to another, until I was able to get into the Salvation Army. Whenever you go into the Salvation Army, usually right after the winter, during the summer months, it gets pretty full, so there's a waiting line. Once I got in, soon I was not only eating, but helping to serve at the welcome table. I was trying to give back, you know, that moment when I came to the welcome table, and the people were so nice and inviting, and I wanted other people to feel that. I was like, yeah, that was so amazing. While attending church one morning, I was given the money by Jack Weston. Jack Weston walked up to me. He goes, "God has put it in my heart to give you this money," and he gave me this money out of his wallet. And it was exactly the amount I needed to get my driver's license back. Exactly the amount. And that's what I used it for. So I needed my license to get a job, and I went out there and I got the job. I didn't get back on my feet. Jesus was looking out for me that day, indeed. I got a great job, which I still have, and things took off from there. I called up an old friend of mine, Brandy, you know, and as she always does whenever I call, she's always there when I needed her. And asked if I could stay on her couch. I was living at the Salvation Army, and there's 50 other people, 50 other men in there, and I have a job now, and everything was looking up. I wanted to get out of there, have my own little privacy, and I was like, "Hey, can I stay on your couch? I'll pay your bills." And of course, she said she had an extra room. Me and her older brother, we slept on the floor with he had a sleeping bag, and he had an extra blanket he gave me. And then I upgraded to the couch. And then we started dating again a couple of months later, and I got her coming to this church as well with me, because of course I try never to miss a Sunday. We're now both members of the church. She got baptized here, and then we got married in this chapel here, October 10th, 2020. And I recently hit my 18th month sobriety. As most of you can tell. And I just want to say, I couldn't do any of this without the support of my wife, my family, my church friends, but most of all, I couldn't have done it without the love of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.